Today's show and tell comes from Pinkladderlady. It's her quiet space expressions, which is a bunch of art that I'll bring up after I sneeze. Let me pull up the first picture, and then as we go through them, there's a couple different ones that we can look at, but I'll read to you about what these mean to her before I go to the next one. And let me make this a nice size for you so you can see it nice and zoomed in. Here we are, starting off with one of Pinkladderlady's quiet space expressions. Allow me to read to you about them. Pinkladderlady writes, "Hi Yam, sorry it's so long-winded. It means a lot to share my truth fully and as clearly as I am today. Integration is no joke. I experienced a fragmentation and awakening a few years ago. I have finally recovered linear communication and reconnected with expressing myself in a way that is easily understood and makes sense to others. I sense you are safe to speak this candidly and truthfully with about the nature of my art. For that reason, if you decide to share my art, please share only what you feel is appropriate from this letter. Please leave any out and/or all of it." And I'm telling you that there was nothing I felt necessary to leave out. "I have two reasons why I would like to share," she continues. "One, I experience emotions, feelings, communication, inspiration, my awareness, and my environment very strongly in my sense body. Sensing kinesthetically is my dominant form of understanding input data communication. Tiny language barrier in my output communication, which makes me sound like a computer. I relate to that sometimes, but is super accurate. I am better able to connect to my emotions/emotional body through creativity. I often don't have words for my feelings and emotions. I feel connected to my emotions, but they have no voice and are silent until expression. Via creativity, I am able to identify and understand this part of myself freely and clearly. I aim to cultivate craftsmanship, and I may bring joy to others with my expression and relationship to creativity. 2, I paint, write, create as a conduit, mostly higher consciousness than my own for certain. I don't know anything, just an aware, empty mind. What I provide silence to often speaks. I work too with muses. I allow the muse energy into my awareness. It guides itself out. I allow muses with the discretion of their interest, intentions, and content. I don't mind listening or sitting with heavy, hurt, dark, even death energies, but I don't have the bandwidth or capacity for visual violence. All of my energy bodies shut down from the inside out. And nothing that we're going to go through together is violent in any way. The feeling of the images remain if they do not let go, so I prefer not to paint with them. I also prefer not to work with beings like Aleister Crowley that affiliate in practicing with life force harvesting/manipulation, entities of black magic, or any other energy with a questionable agenda. That was a lengthy but necessary explanation. Beings of the highest truth and compassion are always welcome. Mostly it's gentle mystics, benevolent energies that speak without words. I just paint their energy. Occasionally, a guardian energy will guide me through a prayer piece, something like their response to hearing a prayer of the heart. Reverence is always heard. The symbols, images, colors, material, etc. are with sacred intent. These pieces provide and carry a specific energy and intention, whether the observer of the art is aware or not. The sacred energy of the prayer piece is shared with them. I don't always know what the blessing or prayer is. I can feel the difference energetically, but it's of unspoken words, lol. Translating a sense to communication is a challenge with the limitations of language. I am able to share my interpretation of the feeling or vibration I pick up on, but I always feel as though I've left two invisible sentences of meaning out. What it means to me, in the spirit of love, creativity is shared with me. In the spirit of connection, I find meaning. These pieces mean to me a silent, confusing, dark walk through the night, whining to the moon. The moon listened. It was all healing, and I felt held. They represent a committed and devoted heart. To me, they mean nothing. They mean to me something that was heard in the moment. So, that is what dear Pinkladderlady had written for her quiet space expressions. Let's go through them now. We've had some time to look at this first one with some dragonflies, I see. Eyes too. Here we have what looks to be the that symbolic weapon and top of the bell from Tibetan Buddhism. I don't know if you've ever seen it at the top there. I wonder if I can pull up a picture of that. I think you'll see the resemblance. You can see that kind of shape on the handle. These are very sacred objects in Buddhism. And it almost looks like the same kind of shape at the top. Could be a synchronicity. But a beautiful lotus. Someone in meditation, some sacred geometry. I see. Oh, I like this one. Looks like a mandala. Almost looks like a 4D shape in there. You can see cube, perhaps 2 tetrahedra as well, connected in a convex hell, which is the fancy name for a cube in this case. Merkaba energy shares G. You love it, dear Babblefishy. I'm happy to hear that. Merkaba spinning shares Fiddleleaf. Oh, you already know what it is. Here we have totally different kind of genre of art. I like this. This reminds me of some of the art in the 50s in American culture, a little bit. Pop funk. Is that what it's called? I can't remember. Yeah, I like the geometry here. Like movie theater carpet. Yeah, that's exactly. Some of the public transit buses have this kind of art on their seats too. Another very geometric piece. It looks like some watercolor and some bits of nature, some kind of flying thing, an insect of sorts, and some flowers. So pretty, I agree. I really like all these overlapping circles. These ones definitely look like flower petals. Well, of course, there are flower petals I see as well. In more detailed parts. These are really interesting. This is such a unique set of genres. Probably a B, the last one. That makes sense, dear G. These are all so pretty. Oh, I'm happy to hear that, dear Fiddle Leaf. And this is really interesting. I have a photo of someone in the 80s, 90s maybe, 70s perhaps, I don't know. Perhaps it's Pinkladderlady or someone close to her, I am not sure. But very interesting line work behind it. This is, to me, is very interpretive. I see an elephant a little bit, but it could be some other creature. I like how I like how in the bottom right, you see that there's a mute symbol. This picture is muted. It's just a picture though. It definitely doesn't have any sound. Baby flying thing, right? Here we have, I see a side portrait. Someone who looks very feminine. And another, oh, I just realized there's another one above their face. Two of them. Ready to kiss the forehead. It's very expressive. I agree, Bubbles. Lots of flowery looking shapes on there. I love the variety of mediums that Pinkladderlady uses. And that was the last one. This one looks like pastel, if I'm not mistaken. The gentleness of connection. I like that. A lovely painting indeed, dear Rhiannon. So those are all the paintings, the quiet expressions from your Pinkladderlady. Just go back through them. And there's the first one again. Well, thank you so much, dear Pinkladderlady, for sharing your quiet space expressions with us. I found them to be a lovely experience and a wonderful start to our Sangha today. And thank you everyone for going through them with me. If you ever want to share something of your own, do check out the show and tell submission form in the link tree in the bio.